Welcome to another live stream Watchalong reaction. We've had a couple of days off, but we're back. And truly back to the club scene, even though we've had a couple of club matches here and there interspersed throughout the end of the World Cup. We are truly back to the club scene. The summer of football, well, the World Cup summer's over, but we still have a lot to do. The rest of this summer and this fall and the start of this winter. How we doing, Sean? We are so back. Well, I mean, we were here for the World Cup, but I guess we talk about club football. Toronto played on Thursday last week, either way, and Forge played over the past couple of weeks as well. But either way, and we covered all those games. Either way, we got New England Revolution versus Toronto FC, MLS 2026, Week 16, second to last game before halfway. Just had to see my Red Bulls. This is the Revs. We've already played the Red Bulls twice this year. I think we already got that over with. Unless we play y'all in the playoffs, and I think we're done playing y'all. But, what, y'all didn't play this weekend? Hey, look, Sean has a friend. How we doing, Henry? Are you going to stream NHL games? I'm sure I'll do some Leafs games this year. I probably got to pay y'all back for the fact the Leafs didn't make the playoffs. And also the Blue Jays aren't making the playoffs this year in the MLB. So maybe if I have an off night here and there, maybe they play Philly today. Oh, they play at the same time. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Either way, next match Toronto plays is halfway through their season in the MLS. That'll be on Saturday against DC United. But tonight, Toronto plays their penultimate first half match. And yes, DC in DC. Then their first match in the second half is away to New York on July 31st. Then they have a break till August 15th, playing at home against the Revs. So we play the Revs twice in a month. In less than a month. Kevin Sullivan versus Julian Hall. That's a pretty good match, it sounds like. The sad thing for me is I'm a Toronto fan, so here we are. If I wasn't covering every Toronto game, maybe that would be the game I'm covering. But, you know, it is what it is. Either way. Philly versus New York, but I'm a Toronto fan, so. Such is life. Such is life. So, we are ready to go. The Toronto Blue Jays got 3 outs and no hit baseball playing the parade. So, yeah, no, I think sometime this fall in January, February, certainly, I will be doing Leafs games. So, NHL games. Mostly Leafs games. Probably, if I do NHL, it'll be Leafs games. But we'll see. Hopefully, you can watch them in the playoffs as well. But I know I did a couple of Habs games down the line as well last year, but in the playoffs. But Philly's downfall needs to be studied. They saw their best player to DC get 15th place and 7 points. Yeah, here's the thing about Philly. Bradley Carnell's doing the exact same thing he did with St. Louis when they finished top of the West. The next year, St. Louis is bottom of the table, and he gets fired. I mean, Gilberto Mora would be awesome for Dortmund. The question is would he want to go to Dortmund instead of a big club if a big club's in for him? An actual big club, and not a club that has a big name but is a selling club. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dortmund's a big club only because they're one of the top 3 biggest clubs in Germany. Or 4. Dortmund, Leverkusen, Red Bull Leipzig, and Bayern Munich. Those are the biggest clubs in Germany. Like, the only reason Dortmund's a big club is because they've won the league a couple of times while being a selling club and a developmental club and being the team who could challenge Bayern the most. And they did make a Champions League final a couple of years ago. So, I mean, yeah, it's a good place for him to go, but either way. How we doing, son? I'm glad Garnacho is gone. I'm glad he's gone. I think y'all got a really good manager. Now, if only a certain club that wears red would call the Pirate, we'd be completely happy. But here we are. Start 11s are as follows for this New England-Toronto game, which they're playing on turf, by the way. Because it took them, 2 weeks to put turf back in at Gillette? Screw you, Robert Kraft. Either way, big days tomorrow. Yep, the CONCACAF Nations League draws tomorrow. And we'll be live for that as well and reviewing that as well. But first off, we got to deal with this Toronto game. About 23 and a half hours from now? The CONCACAF Nations League draw starts? Yeah. So, less than a day. Basically. Matt Turner in goal. Back four, Matt Polster. We have Ethan Kohler. We have Mamadou Fofana and Will Sands. The midfield three of Al-Hassan Yusuf, Brooklyn Rains, and Carles Heel. And the front three of Peyton Miller, Dor Turgeman, and Griffin Yao. And we got Toronto, Luka Gavrin, the back four, Richie Larea, Jackson Gilman, Walker Zimmerman, Richard Chukwu, which I think he's on the U20 Canada squad. So he's about to go on to play for the U20 squad after this game, I think. Hold on. Yep, he will. So he gets to play for TFC before he plays for the U20 squad in about 4 days. Midfield four, Jules Anthony Volsant, Alonso Coelho, Jonathan Osorio, Daniel Shallowy. Front two, DeAndre Kerr and Emilio Aristizabal. No Sargent, no Mihailovic. Canada has a big day coming up. U20 versus Panama on Sunday, which will also be live for. My USL and MLS teams are playing their rivals, says Sean. It was a good decision not to put the Cosmos game on because it's already 1-0 for Westchester. Oof. Yes. So, but that's Sunday. Canada versus Panama U20 is on Sunday. We'll be live for that on Sunday afternoon. You haven't missed nothing. The game hadn't even started yet, Daniel. What, you got your phone up on the treadmill or something watching me? That's pretty cool though. So either way, we'll get ready to go. We'll be on our way. (6:30 to 8:30), 90 minutes of football. No worries about extra time. We just play the game. So do with that what you will. Let's go. Jesse Marsh, also part of the U20 squad. Yeah, he's managing the U20s, or at least, I mean, why would he be there if he wasn't managing? So that definitely helps. I'm glad to see the fact that he's going to be coaching the U20 national team as well to try to get them to the Olympics. That's going to be crazy, though. What if they do make the Olympics and then we play Copa America? Does Jesse just coach Copa straight on to... Does he coach the Copa straight on to the Olympics? Then again, it ain't as much travel considering it's LA and certain other stadiums. I guess. It's a bop, though. Okay, so it's a bop. I love it. I love the match coverage will begin soon music. I love it. That's MLS. It's a bop. Interesting lineup choices for this evening. I don't know how anybody at this club still has a job. I don't. I get some of it might be, we're playing on turf, though. Thank you, Robert Kraft. Matt Turner in goal. Will Sands, Ethan Kohler, Mamadou Fofana, Matt Polster. The midfield two, Brooklyn Rains and Al-Hassan Yusuf. The attacking midfield three, Griffin Yao, Carles Heel, Peyton Miller, and up top is Dor Turgeman. MLS. Here we go. Luka Gavrin in goal for Toronto FC. We have Richard Chukwu, Walker Zimmerman, Jackson Gilman, Richie Larea, Jonathan Osorio, Alonso Coelho, Jules Anthony Volsant, Daniel Shallowy, DeAndre Kerr, and Emilio Aristizabal. So 3-4-3. J.C. Marsh's primary role is to establish a senior tactical game model with a younger age group, assist in player selection, evaluate next generation talent, not head coach, but a key role. So basically, everything a head coach does, but actually coaching the games. Basically. 5 goals, 4 assists for Carles Gil in 14 matches this season. He's still ticking, my friends, Carles Gil. And a player to watch for Toronto is Jonathan Osorio. Played for 2 matches in Canada at the World Cup, which was only about 7 minutes altogether. Like, played as a stretch. Played as a stretch, but okay. Chester is close to Philly. It's like half the teams in MLS. Like, half the teams in MLS who have, like, soccer-specific stadiums who haven't got them in the past 7 years, give or take, are playing in a suburb of where their city is named. So, and Graham is saying, let's go, Revs. I mean, the more this team loses, the more likely they might be to call the pivot or at least blow everything up. So, I don't know if I want them to blow it up. But personally, I don't want them to blow it up. But if that's what they choose. And we are ready for this game to get going. McDonald's is giving baseball fans free food and stadium-friendly clear McValue bags. What? That's stupid. Either way. Signing a player before we get rid of a coach only makes it longer to fix our problems. I'm disgusted by today's announcement. I mean, you have a point. I mean, you do have a point, but I will say personally, I do like, from what I am hearing about the player they just signed, well, they also signed Nelson Palacio, but I thought he was a solid player as well. I thought Nelson Palacio, which is crazy because we just signed a guy, Dorsch from Germany. Definitely a line-breaking number 6. I like what I'm seeing from him. So I think anybody who got hired to be the manager would accept him. I don't think the signing, yes, I understand where you're coming from, but from what I'm hearing about the player and what I can see from the player, he's definitely something this team needs anyway, no matter where they go with it. No matter if they keep Fraser or not, this team needs a line-breaking center mid to play with Coelho. If we can't have the destroyer like we did with Davey and Cifuentes, I think a guy like Dorsch is a smart play. So, well, the good thing about it is it's only TAM, I think. It's not like he's a DP. So you could easily move that. If you wanted to move that contract, it's easier to do a cash trade there. He is a TAM player. It's not like he's a DP. If he was a DP, I'd agree with you a lot more. It's easier to move on a cash trade a player who's a GAM or TAM player or a non-DP player. So let it cook. But again, as I said, I think there are many coaches that if they did fire Fraser, they would accept this player. They'd be happy to have this player. They'd be happy to have this player. But if they weren't happy to have this player, I think any system with the way he plays and the stuff that I've seen out of him and what I've heard, he would fit most systems, whether it is a high pressing, high take the ball, make the other team make mistakes, go up the pitch. break the lines, intercepting, jumping lanes to intercept the ball type of system, or a very defensive system. I think many coaches would accept him. So there are players where I'm like, okay, fair enough. You have a really good point. And if they was a DP anyway, I'd be like, yeah, good point. But Dorsch is in a situation where, yeah, we should fire Fraser. It is the summer window. You're going to sign players, but a player like him, I think he would fit many systems anyway. So I'd accept him. I get that now the fact they signed him may signal the fact they won't fire Fraser, and that you could be mad about, but understandable. Like, it's DP to be brought down as, so a half-season DP brought down to a TAM player. But you wouldn't put that in the contract and sign him for 5 years. You weren't going to buy him down. So if you wanted to. So really, he's only a DP for 6 months. And we're about to get going. Okay, the fact that we have a number 6 as a DP for 6 months kind of pisses me off. But either way, we already bought a striker. So, because we have Daniel Shallowy. Fair enough. How key will Bostonberry be for the U20s? I think key. I think he'll be key. We're about to get going. I mean, I'm surprised it was only 1 year. Sergei Demyanchuk is the center ref for this match. So, but normally you don't ride in the buy the player down after 6 months to TAM if they weren't going to be a TAM player in the end. So, Jose Carlos Rivero, the VAR referee. That's just to get the deal over the line. I'm surprised Etienne isn't starting. I'm just glad Vilsant's starting, even though he's in the midfield. And here we go. I have a lot more things to be angry about than freaking. But again, I mean, I'll gladly take for 4 years out of a 5-year deal, 4.5 years out of a 5-year deal, a player being a TAM player for a midfield spot that we need. And since we really can't find a destroyer, since we got rid of them both, now, would I take this guy over Cifuentes? No. But as I said, and we're back, Larea, we're off 9 seconds in. I think Vilsant deserves a start here. I agree. I'm glad he's starting. But I personally would have rather... I would have rather kept Cifuentes. I'm sure that if we bought him, it would be a similar deal of a DP for a half a year and then buy him down. I personally would have rather kept Cifuentes, but that's nothing to say against Dorsch. I just would rather have the midfield destroyer who could be a dual 8 with Coelho instead of like dual 6s, but one breaks lines. That's my opinion, though. But I'm not going to say I wouldn't. I don't know if they accidentally leaked something or he actually is going to Miami. I don't know. Personally, I wish he would go back to Cleveland. That's his hometown. Does his wife want to go back to Cleveland? Probably not. Either way. Yeah, I saw that. I just said, yeah, I saw it. And we're off. 0-0. I don't know. I wish he would go to the Cavs. I think Miami might be more likely. If he could choose himself and it didn't matter what his wife thought, I would think Cleveland. But if his wife means a lot to the decision, I think if she wanted to leave LA, she'd leave for Miami. But luckily for him, he has history in Miami. So, wait, would he be able to wear the number 6 again over there? Or would he have to change his number again? Well, he could wear number 9 just like his son did in LA. Nil-nil. You mean the New Jersey Nets? I mean the Brooklyn Nets. 0-0. Oh, they definitely would be doing. Wait, LeBron's a Nike athlete, though. He's not an Adidas athlete. So, no. But I'm sure there'd be some sort of company that puts Messi and LeBron together for commercials. I'm sure. That isn't Nike or Adidas, like, not a shoe brand. I'm sure they'd find a way, so you have a point. Three minutes in. Playing forward is New England, crossed in, and that's out for a corner. Good job, Chuck Wu, to get it out. Philly already got a shot 2 minutes in. Man, y'all suck. Idrissi got to move, bro. There's no chance he's going to play a World Cup with Morocco, and Toronto's his best shot to play at least a Club World Cup. Pachuca's going to cycle him out for somebody younger. Well, we already, I think we have 3 DPs, though, and we already have Jordy Mihailovic. But, well, I know we have 2. The question is did we buy down Richie and Oso? Do we still technically have one open? Wait, no, Jordy's a DP. Fuck. Jordy is a DP. I'd rather have Idrissi, in my opinion, but it's not up to me. But again, as I said, it's hard to cash trade a player who's a DP. So either we'd have to buy him out, which, I mean, he hasn't really done much when he's healthy. I won't lie. I still think Idrissi would be the better player, personally. And I think he does press harder than Mihailovic. So if it was up to me, I'd gladly get rid of Mihailovic to get Idrissi if it was up to me. If basically you offered me buy out Mihailovic to get Idrissi, yeah, I would do it. I would do it. But you can't really have 2 DPs in the same position anyway. So, shit. 0-0. If it was up to me, well, Philly ain't that good going forward anyway, so that's the good news. Playing forward, 0-0. If it was up to me, but for now, it's not. Like, up to me, if it was up to me, I'm okay with the Dorsch signing. I would go along with it. I'd accept it. As I said, it's a new 4-year cycle. Let's see what happens. Forsberg's shot goes over. Well, at least you got a shot. 0-0. Sounds like a damn hockey game at this point. Nil-nil. Toronto's looking a little bit ragged on defense. Offensively, haven't had much. Step in the right direction. We finally did something good. Corner. For y'all? Phil Neville's an announcer on this game? Yeah, I'm like, damn. He just got fired like 6 weeks ago. And now he's commentating. Well, that sucks for him. No, it was DC United, actually. No. The game that got Armas fired was the DC United game, and I think our first game with Javier Perez was the Revs game that we won 3-2. Can't get that shit past me. Can't get that shit past me. 7-1 against DC United, got Armas fired, and I think our next game was 3-2 win over the Revs that Javier Perez coached. And my God, how hyped were we? My God, how hyped were we when that happened? Man, I was so hyped. I still think we screwed over Javier Perez for Bacala, but either way. I wonder how I know he's working for Atlanta United now, Javier. I wonder how he's doing. Like in the academy and such. I wonder how he's doing. I wish him all the best. I always will. Javier's always in my good books. Always will be. Always will be. Well. Always will be, yeah. Of course, the disclaimer, barring some unforeseen, but you know. Always will be in my good books. Whether I mean him becoming the manager of Montreal or, you know, I mean, that is some unforeseen. Not too damn serious, but you know what I mean. Comparatively, but either way. Every player who's active to play will come on, yes, at an all-star game. Every player who's active to play at an all-star game will come on. And if they don't play, if they choose not to play, they get suspended. Now, of course, I think the saving thing for Messi this year that won't get him suspended is the fact he has to legally take a 4-week break from the World Cup. He was never going to play at the All-Star game unless Argentina lost to what? Egypt? Like if Argentina lost when they played Egypt, I think he would have played the All-Star game. But the fact that he went all the way to the final, they can't suspend him. Legally, MLS can't suspend him for missing the All-Star game after because he legally has to have a 4-week break by the rules of sport, by the rules of FIFPro and all that. He has to have a 4-week break. So they cannot suspend him for missing the All-Star game. And even if they did, he'd still miss the game they suspend him for because it's a 4-week break. So unlike last year, he will not be suspended for the All-Star game. Has he ever played the MLS All-Star game? Maybe 2023? I don't think he's played any of them. Shallowy shot blocked away. Unless he played in 23 as soon as he came over, which I think they did, like jerry-rig to get him in there. I think he did. Like a full season of MLS, he has never played, was that right before the Leagues Cup? No, he didn't even play 23. Oh, it was a rumor. No, he didn't even play 23. He's never played an All-Star game as a member of Miami. Never has. 23, didn't make it. 24, injured ankle. 25, chose not to play, got suspended. 26, forced 4-week break. Can't play. Vilson is starting, yes. Well, I've heard the Revs are going to build their own stadium. In like what? Somewhere in Massachusetts isn't Boston, but not Foxborough either. Like in some, like their own soccer-specific stadium, I think they're going to build soon. I think close to UMass, if I'm correct. Yeah, Vilson's playing in the midfield again. Yeah, Fraser has him in the midfield. Per MLS and per FOTMob, yes. I've seen that, yes. Playing forward. Doesn't matter. FSG is still going to be the main shareholders. Call the Pirate. Yeah, I agree. 11 minutes in. But it does kind of suck. Philadelphia scores 1-0. Oh, my God. New York just got scored on by Philadelphia. Oh, my God. You bunch of frauds. You said Philadelphia take a lead on you. Ay. Playing forward. I mean, I like Vilson. I want to play Vilson. I mean, it would be generational. Gosman might have pitched his last game in the Sky Dome last night. I know. Oh, yeah, no, the video would be generational if they did, for sure. So, generational celebration video. 1-0 Cincy for Bucha. It'd definitely be a generational video. For sure, it'd be generational. I don't know if it'd be more vlog styled or not, though. It might feel more like a vlog, but, you know. I'm just saying. It might feel more like a vlog than RSR. I will say that much. But it would be a generational video for sure. Shot wide. For sure, generational video. Maybe there would be a little bit of a RSR-like segment in there, though. And then it turns into more like a vlog-style video. Just saying. Maybe. But it'd be generational for sure. It'd be aura farming to the nth degree. It would be aura farming to the millionth degree, I think, in my opinion. But what has Jordy been doing this whole World Cup break? How can he not play? I wouldn't be surprised if the new guy we got has a lower body injury. Yeah, we keep signing players with injuries, like Palacio. But here's the thing about Jordy. Well, they are playing on turf, and he just came back from his injury. So I think it's more of we don't want him playing on turf when he already had a pelvis injury that he's already been working through and just played 30 minutes. Well, not even 30 minutes last week. So it's probably more of the turf excuse of like, well, we're playing on turf, and it looks like shit, by the way. And by the way, it looks like shit. I hope it looks better when the Patriots start playing, Robert. Because that really matters to me, by the way. It looks like shit. It looks like it's half torn up. It really does. So you know what? I don't blame them at all, actually. Like, I would have thought that his pelvis injury would have been fine enough for him to actually maybe play more than 15 minutes during the Montreal game, but less, over 20 minutes. Let's just split the difference and say 20. But this turf looks like shit. It looks so bad. It looks like it's half coming up. It looks like it's been ripped up by cleats. Why do we have, seriously, Robert, you cheap son of a bitch? Why couldn't you keep the freaking grass for both the football and the Patriots? Why'd you have to go back to the turf? Free kick for Toronto, 15th minute. I mean, the thing, Dorsch, from what I'm hearing, I like what I see from him. I like the fact he's a line-breaking number 6. He's good with the ball at his feet. I think a dual 6 pivot of him and Coelho would be amazing. That's the way I'd go with it. But I think any manager who is the manager of this club would accept Dorsch being on the team. Even if Fraser gets fired and they shouldn't have signed a guy before their manager got fired, I would accept it. I think we need a guy. If we can't have a midfield number 8 destroyer like a Cifuentes or Davy Flores, the next best thing is a 6 that breaks the lines. Because Coelho, God love him, but Coelho is more defensive. Good at pressing. He's good at taking the ball. He's good at jumping passing lanes, which Dorsch could do as well. But Coelho is more the defensive number 6 in that pivot. And I think if you take away some of those things he's not as good at and let Dorsch do the things that Coelho's not as good at, I think that's a good thing in a situation. So I like what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing out of him. So I'd say he's good. He's in his prime. Yes, he's a DP for half the season. We could buy him down to TAM after the season's over. We love doing that. But, you know, yeah, I'm happy with it. Even if Fraser wasn't the manager, I think many managers who would play or coach this club would take him and let him be on the team. Griffin Yao saved by Gavrin. So no complaints. No complaints. It looks like a rash is going to happen on that field. Yeah, somebody's going to get freaking carpet burn. 1-1 Whitecaps Badwall. 1-0 Westchester over the Cosmos. Yeah, he plays like Michael Bradley in a way. Yeah, I just hope he doesn't miss penalties. Medellin 2-2 Vasco. Is there good effort for so far for the hack that is the coach? I wouldn't call it good effort, but I have a higher bar. They haven't allowed a goal yet, but do they look like the better team? No. Do they look like even close to being the better team? No. Are they stuck in their own end defensively against a team who is better than us? Yes. I wouldn't call this good effort, but I have such a higher bar. I have such a higher bar what I'd call good effort. This does not seem. And Griffin Yao crosses it over. Head the fucking ball away. What are we doing? See what I mean? I would have said that on the touchline, not just my couch. What the hell are we? Then again, would that even happen if I was on the touchline? I mean, yeah, there are mistakes, but trust me, I think you'd hear that. You'd see so many parents just like putting their hands over their kids' ears, be like, what the fuck are you doing? Clear the ball away. Too bad. Chicago scored 1-0 at Miami. Own goal for Miami, 1-0 versus Chicago. Or 1-0 Chicago. Rios Novo whiffed it. Yeah, they really do need Vizina, don't they? They really do need Vizina, don't they? I guess they do. Dane St. Clair and Rios Novo both suck. Hey, they need Vizina. Oh, wait, Miami's almost in trouble with the MLS for tampering. Because guess who had Casemiro's discovery rights? LA Galaxy. And they were talking to Casemiro before they ever had his discovery rights. I'm surprised MLS is going to investigate him for it, to be honest. Messi is not getting away with nothing anymore. Well, turns out Messi stopped getting away with his shit. FIFA, I wouldn't say FIFA turned on him. I think Bostonberry will make a key role with the U20s. I think he's a very solid player. I think they're going to want to go to him, knowing he's had Can Champ experience and he's played for the main team as well as the TFC2s. I think he's a very solid player. I would hope, for Toronto's sake, the Bostonberry makes an impact at the U20 CONCACAF Championship. I would hope so. I think he will. In my book, we'll see what Jesse thinks, but I believe in Bostonberry. I think he's a very solid player, and I think he has a high ceiling, which I'm surprised he hasn't been traded yet by Toronto FC, because he has a high ceiling, and we know what happens to the young players who have a high ceiling at this team. But Jackson Gilman's still there somehow, and Chuck Woo's still there. Hell, Chuck Woo's playing. I think Chuck Woo might be one of our best players today, actually. I mean, there's not a high bar, but I think Chuck Woo's done a damn good job today being thrown into a starting 11 right before he has to play at the U20 Championships. So you know what? Good for him. It gives him more match time, and it gives him a match time to play a higher level game before he goes and plays at the U20 Championship. But the fact that Chuck Woo's probably our best player tonight, I think he's had, speaking good effort, I think he's throwing out a good effort. But if Bostonberry makes an impact and has a decent World Cup, he's leaving Toronto for sure. Well, that's obvious. Hell, I don't even know if the Pirate could stop that from happening. I'd hope we change our modus operandi and keep him, but if he gets a really good move to a European club that'll play him, that's reasonably sized, you know, it would be best for Bostonberry to go to a different club. Well, for right now, you're right. Why stay in this hellhole? You're right now. But if they keep going with the way they raise youth players, he's probably going to be gone in about 2 years at best anyway. No. I mean, I've seen the score. That's about it. Playing forward. Nice play, DeAndre. That's what I'm talking about. Shallowy. Oh, they have thrown Vilson up to striker. Okay. Shallowy plays it backwards. I've seen the scores, but that's about it. I've been so focused on the World Cup and having at least getting some rest on my off days that I've seen the scores. I know, didn't Atlante win? And that's out for a goal kick for Matt Turner. And by the way, the pressure is so high after the World Cup. Didn't Buffalo Aguirre get sent off for putting his hand over his mouth against Atlante? Dumb shit. Corner for Toronto, okay. Like, really? And by the way, Europe said they wouldn't even do that rule, but Liga MX is? Huh, okay. I wonder if MLS is going to do that rule. Either way. Was it Tigres Atlante? Didn't Atlante won their first game, yeah? Header. Red Sox 15-game streak might be over. Thank God. Toronto, the Jays are still selling, though. So I think the Jays are consigned to selling at this point. Thank you, Boston. I didn't want that, but the Jays are at least 6 games under 500. And let me guess, they're probably about to be 7 games under 500, aren't they? Or 7 games under the wild card, I should say. My bad. 7 games out of the wild card, my bad. They're way more under 500. Oh, the Blue Jays are tied. It's only the 3rd inning, though. 0-0. Shit, I guess the game must have started. Top 4. Let's see, the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays scored. And then the frickin' Rays tied it right back up. Par for the fucking course. Par for the course. I hate the Tampa Bay Rays. I think we're in for the most intense version of North American football for the next 4 years. I'm glad. That's the way I love that. Kyle Laren's going to show up at the Forge game tomorrow. Toronto looks like they're not going to score anytime soon. Yeah, I know. They look like shit. Yeah, you don't have to. New England's going to rip us apart or win 1-0. We look like absolute garbage. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know. We look like garbage. What about a good effort? My ass. Good effort, my ass. Good effort, my bubble ass. And that hit the referee. Drop ball. And Robin Fraser's going to call this a good effort after we get beat 4-0. Can they fire his ass already? Good effort, and we're done with the rebuild, don't you know? Like, y'all hired John Chaika. MLSE hired John Chaika for the Leafs. 2-1 Vancouver. Larea looks all right. I agree, but he normally does. So you're telling me when it comes to the Leafs, you'll experiment with something, but when it comes to TFC, you won't. Ryan Gould, or you're taking your sweet ass time. Or you're taking your sweet ass time. Because you want to talk about football. The Pirate would definitely be a football version of John Chaika. Definitely a choice. It's either going to go very well or very horribly, but I think very well. But at least it's something different. At least it's something cutting edge. At least it's something, if it's going to be insane, at least it's going to be a fun insane. Whether it goes horribly or amazingly, it's going to be a fun insane. Unlike the insanity you already do. Shallowy shot over the bar. Oh my God, Daniel. Lower. I would rather have a fun insane than the insanity of we're going to do the same thing over and over again, expect results to be different. And the rebuild's over. Yeah, sure, my ass. Sure, my ass. at least the fun insanity, whether we suck, whether it goes to shit, or whether it's fun and we win, at least it's going to be fun. At least it's something different. At least it's something cutting edge. PK for Miami. Oh, well, they're what's wrong with Chivas? They play better than the scoreboard looks. Those boys got bad luck. Was Hormiga playing? My question. Either way, question. I like what I've seen from the guys after going down by 7. You know, most guys will put their heads down, but they kept going. Yeah, my ass. They did put their heads down. 27th minute. Really? They did put their heads down. PK for Miami. Suarez scores 1-1. Ball crossed in, headed away. Good job, Walker. That was a good header. Not far enough, but good idea. Good idea, sir. Good idea. Good idea, sir. Absolutely nothing to talk about. But hey, at least coming into this game, we had a point per game. Right now, it's still a point per game. No joke. We're at a point per game pace. After all the bullshit, which is still not enough to get into the playoffs. Well, actually, shot wide. Oh, my God. Griffin Yao puts it wide. You are lucky bastards. You are lucky as shit. You are lucky as shit. We have a point per game. And if the results hold the way they are, we're going to sit 11th place. Well, Montreal plays against Nashville. Well, they might lose that game, actually. Luka Gavrin with a goal kick. You know, we've had a point per game. As it stands, we're at a point per game pace. With all the bullshit, we're at a point per game almost halfway through the season. Now, well, actually, we might be able to make the playoffs with a point per game pace if we just draw every game that's left, or we win a couple of games and then somehow still have 34 points. We might. Do you think Copa America should be Pulisic's last chance? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it should be his last chance. It should be his last chance. Should be. Should be his last chance. 29th minute. And that's a free kick for New England. But yeah, Pulisic's last chance should be Copa. Almeida. Matias Almeida is a very good manager. I have 100% respect for Matias. I know it's crazy because he beat us in the Champions Cup final, but I think Matias Almeida is a wonderful manager. I always have. And I always have respect for him. He took that shitty Chivas team to beating Toronto. Now, we were injured to hell and back, but he found a way to beat us. And Chivas treated him like crap. He won them a league. They haven't been good until they had Milito after he left. Well, that 1 year where they did finish and make the final. Was that Paunovic? I think that was Paunovic. But either way, for the most part, Chivas finally looks like they're truly back under Milito. But it took them 7 years. It took them 9 years. Shallowy with a shot. Shot blocked away, corner for Toronto. But, you know, Crespo's a good manager, or he's a legend. I don't know if I'd say he's a good manager, but Almeida's a better manager in my book. I think Monterrey, I know. Laundry room. NYC scored 1-0 at Columbus. Oh, there's a Toronto hair transplant clinic? I just go bald anyway. Coelho. Smart man. I can't hate on him. He knows how to talk to his players. I agree. Again, the laundry room's right there, and it's laundry day, my friends. Even though it's 6 o'clock. Either way, 7-12. But here's the corner. 0-0, 31st minute. So, you know, ball crossed in. Header. Jackson Gilman puts it through. Saved by Matt Turner. Oh, so you saved that. Oh, so you saved that, but not the shots from Turkey. The Jive Turkeyes. Screw you, you fraud. The Cincinnati-Vancouver game is bonkers. Oh, you're saying Cincinnati's back? So you saved that, but not the shots from the fried Jive Turkeyes. Okay, sure. You fraud. Sure, you fraud. 0-0. Oh, we're going to give up a bad one now. Carles Heel shot wide. Goal kick. I've never not respected Murakami. I respect Murakami. I just think Okamoto's the better player, but they're both very good players. The Jays just suck ass this year. It's not Okamoto. Okamoto's our best player. It's just everybody who was actually in the World Series have been shit this year, especially Vladdy. The only players who were worth a damn for the Jays this year are the players who were not there during the World Series or did not start the 25 season with the Blue Jays. They at least were there at the trade deadline. Or they got called up late in the season. Like Savage, good. Gosman's had a bad run recently. I thought Bieber's played well. Dillon Cease has been amazing. Ernie Clements, like the only guy who was there the whole season who's actually been worth a damn out of anybody. Okamoto just came in the offseason. Dillon Cease. Tyler Rogers. Varland was a trade deadline. Savage called up late in the season last year. Trade deadline Bieber. The only guy who was there since April of 2025, if not earlier, which he was, but you get what I mean. Ernie Clement is the only player who was there the whole season last year who's been good this year. That's it. Ernie Clement. Yeah, you're cooked. You're cooked. So probably that's this Sunday. No, I'm doing the CONCACAF U20 Canada versus Panama game and the Formula One Hungarian Grand Prix. So no. And if it's Saturday, I'm doing Toronto. So I know I'm torturing myself, but either way, if it's Saturday, I'm doing Toronto. If it's Sunday, I'm doing the Canada-Panama U20 CONCACAF Championship. So no. I think it's this weekend, yes, so no. Either or, so no. Let me see if it's... I don't know why it's not on freaking FOTMob, but either way, Toluca. Yep, July 25th. So that's Saturday, yeah? That's Saturday, yeah? Toronto. Maybe I'll consider doing... Yeah, it's Saturday. Toronto's at 6:30, though. Maybe I'll do a double. Maybe. I don't know if I will. There's a slight possibility I'll do a double on Saturday. Carles Heel plays it forward, plays it backwards, 0-0. Now, we'll see if I get a super chat sometime this week. Cleared away. Either today, tomorrow, or, well, it would have to be today or tomorrow for that to happen. If I get $5 or more super chats or memberships, I'll do a double. Either way, 0-0. Speed going to try to play the World Cup, really? You think he's going to pull the Neil Kennedy? Honestly, Speed looks a lot more originally athletic, though, already. So, Leandro Paredes must be suspended 6 months at least. Like, all of football or just internationally? You know what? Screw it. I hope Speed makes it. I hope Speed makes it to playing at a World Cup in the next 8 years. I hope he does for the United States. I hope he does. Can't be worse than some of the players they called up. Actually, he might be better than Pulisic. So, you know what? Shit, do it. Playing forward. Larea. Cross in from Larea. Shot. Oh, my God, Vilsant. No. Just push the ball. Swing your leg. God, Vilsant. Don't make me look bad, man. Jules, come on, man. I believe in you, and you couldn't side foot it. Jesus Christ. That was an open net. You were onside. You freaking side foot that like a normal player, and you score a goal, and we lead a game we don't deserve to be leading. Oh, we're certainly giving up a bad one before the half's over. I guarantee you. Dude, we'd be leading a game we don't deserve to be leading. Shul, come on, man. Cade Cowell scored for the Revs? Or for the Red Bulls? Wait, he plays for the Red Bulls? When the fuck did that? When did that happen? Frauds, you said. Yeah, isn't it still tied 1-1, though? Yeah, but what? But he has to play for a team that he has citizenship or lineage from. What does Speed have lineage of? Like, does he realize that he has to play for a team who he has to have lineage of? Like, does he know that? I mean, I guess he doesn't, but either way, 1-1. Good for y'all. Still frauds. Well, I guess that's why it would make it 8 years, because he would have to at least probably spend 5 years in a country. But you think he would move just to play for that country? I mean, he would actually have to move. You think he would do that? And the fact he travels as much as he does, Evander 3-2. Well, good for him. 39th minute. He's rich. What, so bribe the Football Association and the government? You do realize that could probably get a country banned. Now, well, Infantino probably wouldn't give a fuck about that, because he'd be like, I show Speed will make me a lot of money if he plays at a World Cup, so let him do it. Well, he better hope that Infantino doesn't get nominated to the Secretary General of the UN by Donald Trump. And I hope Infantino does, because that means he can't be the FIFA president no more. If Infantino gets nominated to be in the Secretary General and he gets voted in as the UN Secretary General, he will not be able to be the FIFA manager or the FIFA president anymore. And I hope that happens. I hope Donald gets his W there. So Infantino will never be the FIFA president anymore. Yeah, Chukwu's a damn good player. That's a different tone. That's a different tone. Playing forward. Basically, yeah, I'll support Gianni Infantino for the UN Secretary General. I'll support that, because that means he fucks off from FIFA. And then somebody else could be the president. And then we won't, well, I guess we will have a 64-team World Cup no matter what. Thank you, Alejandro Dominguez, President CONMEBOL, for already saying it. They already leaked the fact there will be 64 teams. He couldn't shut his mouth. So you're telling me we already are going to have 64 teams in 2030. Are you kidding me? Let's see if South America gets any more games in the opening games, because there's 64 teams. I'm sure they're going to try to get a couple more games than just the opening games now. So Gianni left a shit sandwich for his hopeful successor. Elijah Justice Swansea for $6 million. Well, good for him. Good for him. Good move. I think that's fitting for him. 0-0, 42nd minute. Plus add-ons. Well, we don't know what those are yet. Well, yeah, I know it's different for every country. Yeah, Canada's 5 years. Yeah, it is different for every country. You're right. I just went shorthand for Canada and U.S. 7 years. Well, yeah, fair enough. The Caribbean countries are probably less time, especially if you're rich. You have a point. Then again, well, that's a good point. Maybe Speed could finally take Jamaica to a World Cup. Should have gone Celtic. Headed away. Or Trinidad, actually. Shot off the crossbar. How the hell are we getting so lucky? We don't deserve that. Carles Heel. Top of the box. Shot. Saved by Gavrin. Corner. I wonder, hey, son, if Speed could play for Trinidad, would you want him to play for Trinidad? I mean, Tyrese Spicer and Speed on 2 different wings would actually be awesome to watch. That actually, yeah. That'd be interesting. That would kill a lot of teams' back lines. I won't lie. The pace that both those guys have, ay. Speed and Spicer on both. The pace on that team would be hard to handle. Very hard to handle. Actually. It's a game between 2 teams that can't even score a goal. Well, no, New England's just unlucky. New England can't score a goal because they're unlucky. Toronto just sucked. There's a difference. Like, New England should have scored. They put one off the post. They put one just barely wide. Gavrin's made a couple of good saves. Shot. Oh, what a save from the feet of Gavrin. How the hell are we getting so lucky? We don't deserve to be drawing. We don't deserve to be winning. We deserve to be losing. Like, this is just sad. 45th minute. Like, the Revs have been unlucky. We're just shit. Going forward. Oh, well, yeah, Vilsaint should have really put that one away. Emilio! Pass the ball 2 seconds earlier if you're going to pass the damn thing. What a stop. Halftime, it's 0-0. What a garbage game, my friends. 0-0 at the half. We are garbage. Gavrin, good job. What a save by Horvath. Put him back on USA. Well, he's better than Matt Turner. Like, the best chance we had was, well, Vilsaint not side-footing a ball, and Gilman's with his back or Pele kick. With that being said, we will take a short break. 0-0 at the half. Toronto FC drawing a game they don't deserve to be drawing because we're lucky. Robin Fraser, you are a war criminal. You are a football terrorist. Emilio Sorloff, Aristizábal. Honestly, yes. Honestly, yes. Robin Fraser, you are a football terrorist. You are a football terrorist. Son, would you be happy if Speed played for Trinidad if he was able to get citizenship? Seriously, though, just imagine the pace of Tyrese Spicer on one wing and the pace of Speed on the other. How hard would that be to handle? It's a fun game to score like a Cincinnati-Vancouver game. Yeah, Toronto doesn't score like that, though. At least not under Robin Fraser, the football terrorist. Now, if they had a Pirate as their manager, a football Pirate, an association football Pirate as their manager, well, they'd be very much swashbuckling and they would score like that, but they would rather have a football terrorist who doesn't know what the hell he's doing coaching. So, what do you want me to say? Speech play for TFC on God, he'd be better than Corbianu. But we have Malik Henry, though. With that being said, I would certainly play Malik Henry more than Corbianu, though, for sure. With that being said, we'll take a short break at the halftime with the stats, get this one going, sit tight, 0-0. With that being said, how we doing, Isaiah? How we doing? Stats of the half. We got 66% possession to 34% possession, 7 shots to 6, which honestly, that's shocking. 3 shots on goal to 1, and we have more expected goals than the Revs. What? Nah, that's BS. 290 accurate pass to 127, 92% pass accuracy to 77, 5 corners to 2, 7 shots to 6, 3 shots on goal to 1. Okay, that makes more sense. But either way, 315 passes to 166, 92 accurate passes to 77, 2 throws to 7, 2 offside to 0, 0 yellow cards to 0, 0 red cards to 0, 4 fouls to 6, 0-0 at the half. Somehow, Gilman was a shot on target. Vilsant, the bulk of our XGs, that wasn't even a shot, but okay. It was covered by a goalie, but okay. That wasn't even a shot, and you damn well know it. Either way, the bulk of our XGs, that Vilsant shot. Okay, TFC look like garbage. The only players that I can really give plaudits to are Larea, Chukwoo, and Gilman. And Gavrin, he's made some big saves. Other than that, everybody else has just looked shaky and sloppy. The football, the Revs look like the better team. It's a wonder they're not beating us. It is absolutely a wonder that they we should be losing. Toronto should be losing by a lot. The fact that we are drawing, is crazy. Because we should be losing. The way this team is playing is just garbage. They don't care. They're defending well, but going forward, like they've had their chances to somehow take a lead they don't deserve, and they have not done so. With the Vilsant chance, with the big save on the chance by Gilman. We are a joke. We are a joke. I don't know what. I don't know. Second half about to start. Here we go. I mean, it's sad for the man who used to be with Yamal's girlfriend, that he idolized the kid, and then it's an evil world we live in. 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 That's my thoughts. Second half, here we go. It's an evil world we live in. See if the Blue Jays get a double play or just get out of this inning. Second half, here we go. We have not lost at Gillette Stadium since 2023. This is the good news. The bad news, yeah, we haven't lost at Gillette Stadium since July 2023. So, second half, here we go. Hoffman going to blow the game for the Jays, isn't he? Here we go. Interesting. That's interesting. Here we go. And Jeff Hoffman legitimately is going to blow the game for the Jays. Tie game. And here's where the Rays win it. Jeff Hoffman, freaking bases loaded, 1 out. Oh, so Argentina's trying to pull a Morocco. At least Morocco had some to attack when they got the trophy taken away from Senegal. Argentina does not. Have you seen the coping of Argentina's fans being like, oh, look, Josh Sargent's on for TFC at the half. Well, there you go. Have you seen the Argentinian fans just coping about the fact, well, they forced us to lose the final because of the Falklands banner? Yeah, sure. Sure they did. Jeff Hoffman is your Nestor Cortez 2024. Yeah, at least y'all made the World Series. We won't. We're shit. Hey, called strike. 3-2 full count. Just get a double play. Goal kick. If we get a double play and Hoffman gets out of this, yes, it's New England's first game since the World Cup break. And unlike Montreal, New England did not play at all past before the MLS came back because they didn't have Can Champ. Westchester 2-0 Cosmos. Yeah, it is ironic. But then again, you could say Morocco. Same team that had Pele. .46 minute. The lead runner's on because of Varsho's error. I don't know if the Jays will ever recover from that loss. It might be haunting them this season, and Schneider was already a controversial manager. Yep, I agree with that one. And sack fly, it looks like. Looks like it was a sack fly. 2-1 Tampa. Great job, Varsho. 2 out, 2-1. Yeah, we just lost the game. Good job, Jeff Hoffman, you garbage. Either way. Oh, good job, Sargent. But yeah, you're probably right. Unless Schneider gets fired. Over the top. You know what? You know who doesn't have a job, though? Albert Pujols. You know what the Jays should do? Before anybody else does? Hire Albert Pujols. He's a good manager, you know. I mean, from what I've seen. Yeah. Good for you. Probably, because you're actually good this year. I hope y'all get destroyed again. 47th minute. I mean, the good news, yeah, I know the second half's kicked off. I've marked that. Either way. Well, the Jays are going to lose 2-1, so at least if they get out of the inning. Playing forward, Osorio still. Top of the box, shot. Oh, just wide. What a shot. But just wide for Vilsaint. Because for some reason, no MLB team hired him in the offseason. The Angels didn't hire him, which I'm glad. The Padres didn't. Like, he had all those interviews and he didn't get hired. I don't know. He's either waiting for the Cardinals, wanting to coach the WBC, and nobody liked that, or the team he thought would hire him just went a different direction. And that's going to be a hit. In-play runs. Single on a line drive. Caminero scored. 3-1 Tampa. Yeah, the game's over. Every season under Schneider, after for 60, 90 days, it's still early. Well, we're past, it's early. We've gone past 100 games, so it goes down. But from what I've seen in the Caribbean Series and the World Baseball Classic, Albert's a good manager. I would gladly, and it's not just because I'm biased. I love Albert. Albert's one of my favorite players of all time. But if Albert was the Blue Jays manager, I'd gladly see it. I would gladly see it. Hell, I'd buy an Albert Pujols Blue Jays jersey if he was the Blue Jays manager. I don't care if it's 5 or 55. I'll buy one. I'll buy one. Hell, he could probably be a better hitter than half these freaking players are right now anyway. Shit, let him hit too while we're at it. You know, Albert at his age, he should be a player manager. Screw it. He should be. At least until Vladdy's got his head screwed on straight. Albert would still be a better hitter than Vladdy right now. I believe that. I don't care if Albert's 30, 50 pounds overweight. I don't care. He was 50 pounds overweight when he hit his 700th home run. Okay? He was still in bad shape back then. Old-ass Pujols is still probably a better hitter than frickin' Vladdy right now. Let him be a player manager until Vladdy gets his head screwed on straight. If we could somehow get Albert Pujols to hit 1 home run as a Toronto Blue Jay, that'll be a dream come true for me. Header. Or if I could see him hit a home run in batting practice as a Toronto Blue Jays manager, that'd be a dream come true for me. Either way, you know, there you go. Apparently, Pujols and the Angels couldn't work it out because they couldn't agree on money or coaching staff, and he was already under contract. An executive role would have been hard to make a coach contract. I'm just glad it didn't work out because it would have sucked to see him be the manager of the Angels. Then again, Artie wants to sell the team anyway, so, like, it feels dirty the way the Angels got rid of him and the fact he still played 1.5 years after that. Like, I feel like the LA Dodgers love him more than the Angels. I'm going to be real. Like, and I feel like he has a closer connection to the Dodgers, honestly, from what I can glean. Of course, he loves the Cardinals the most. Of course. But I feel like, weirdly enough, Albert seems to really have loved his time as a Dodger for the 5 months he played there. And the fact he got to break the 700 in Dodger Stadium, coming back after being a Dodger for over half a year, I feel like he likes the Dodgers more. As far as I know, yeah. That's why John Mozeliak's only on a freaking 1-year deal as their GM, which, by the way, speaking of former Cardinals, John Mozeliak sucks. Cross in, headed away. But John Mozeliak fits way more as an Angel than a Cardinal. Actually, I think John Mozeliak and Albert Pujols actually caught up recently. I saw a picture of that. I'm like, okay. Header. Well, I'm glad that Regulon is acting like Alba. You all need it, considering Messi's out for a month. Because he has to be. Because he made the World Cup final. Either way. And Don Garber's probably screaming, this is why we flipped the schedule. Even if you flip the schedule, he'd still be out for a month. You do know that, right? You do kind of realize that if you even flip the schedule and it was like it was supposed to be last or next year in MLS, he'd still be out for a month. Yes, Suarez has a goal. I saw that. '55th minute. Good steal. There's a guy in a Spain jersey at the Miami game right now. Does he want to get his ass beat? He just scored again. Oh, Suarez scored twice. Why is he better than Berterame? What the hell is going on? 2-1 Miami, all because of Suarez. Suarez, I swear, he loves being a super sub. Why is he better than Berterame? Barista Zabal for Sargent was a sub. Okay, playing forwards Toronto, 55th minute. Berterame's ass. Gilman with a shot. No, wait, he does. Caught. Like, why would somebody wear in Miami a Spain jersey at a Miami game? Free kick for Toronto. Like, why would you? Like, you're actually probably going to get your ass kicked. I mean, Berterame and Suarez work well together. It's been a great partnership, and Berterame's been playing better when next to Suarez. Yeah. Yellow card for Matt Polster. Back heel from Berterame. Oh, well, there you go. Berterame with the assist. Like, seriously. See Berterame being a great super sub, which is not the way they would have wanted it when they made the signing. But either way, if it works, it works. Played over the top. Header. Wide. Goal kick for Matt Turner. We're down in the 60th minute. Better bring on Berterame for Silvetti, Allende, Segovia, and create havoc. Yeah, sounds about right. 0-0. Cross in, header. Sources believe LeBron is slow playing his decision to see if any of his suitors could find a way to land Anthony Davis or Kyrie Irving. The problem is that AD and Kyrie don't seem available for trade. Seriously? Playing forward, shot, blocked away. Gavin gets to the ball. Somehow we're still drawing. '59th minute. Landing AD wouldn't be bad if Philly gets AD. That's a deadly center room of Embiid and AD. Ball crossed in, saved by Gavin. Somehow we are still not losing. Such a bad performance, but we're not losing. We deserve to lose this game. If we don't, Sargent. If Toronto doesn't lose this game, it'll be good for them to get the point. But damn, they deserve to lose this game. Sargent with a cross. Centering pass, Osorio. Into the box. Header! In! No! Header! No! Brought down. Goal kick. Quinones is beefing with Aguirre for being subbed out versus England. Really? Concussion sub. Or a concussion shack. The streets will always remember 2020 bubble and 2023 playoffs AD. Ball hit the crossbar. So close to scoring. Best chance Toronto had. I'm guessing Toronto's a new Nashville from a few years ago when they drew many games. At least we're not losing. At least they did call the Pirate. At least we have something to build off of, and we're not losing games. We're just drawing games, which is better than nothing. At least we have points to build on when we have to make a run. If we win like 10 straight, we might be top 6 if we win like 10 straight. Or 12 out of our last 17. Now, of course, that won't happen with Fraser, but you got my point, you know. If we had a manager who could win us a bulk of our last 17, at least we've drawn games instead of lose them. So, if we draw like 12, if we win like 12 out of 17 in the second half, yeah, we could still be top 4, couldn't we? What more does Sargent have to do? I feel bad for him. You know what? I actually feel bad for him there, too. Sargent, I've never questioned the fact that he does hard work. Like, he works very hard, or at least ever since he came here. I've said he works very hard. Maybe he's just unlucky. And he doesn't really get the service. But when he has the ball at his feet, he drags defenders with him, and he does a lot of hard work. He just hasn't scored the number of goals you would probably want him to for a $25 million fee. But he does a lot of hard work. Like, at least Sargent does a lot of hard work. I can respect that 100%. Like, you know what? I'm going to say it. Philadelphia 2-1. Oh, my God. Vasilev. There you go. Like, let me say this. If Sargent, like, if you asked me, would you rather have Cristiano who doesn't do hard work, or would you want to keep Sargent who does the hard work as a striker on your team? I would rather have Josh Sargent. Ideally, to play my system, I'd rather have the striker who does the hard work. And I guess is younger, but yeah, Cristiano scores in Saudi. I get it. But he never does the hard work. He only scores. He didn't do the hard work for Portugal. He doesn't do the hard work for Al Nassr. I would rather have the striker I have do the hard work. Even if it does piss me off, he don't score as many goals as you want him to for his price tag. He does the hard work. And that does mean a lot. Corner for New England. That does mean a lot to me. Thank God for Zimmerman. I agree with that. Playing forward. So, I mean, you look at it and you're like, okay, that makes sense. Shot! Wide. Goal kick. So, I mean, yeah, do with that what you will, but yeah, I would rather have the guy who works hard than the guy who doesn't work hard. 29 for 78. DeAndre Kerr for Malik Henry is the sub. And Corbianu for Vilsant. Wait, what? Bucha again. We're going to put Corbianu on for Vilsant. I mean, I'm glad to have Henry on, but I agree with that. He's shown such good flashes. Evander, are you kidding me with that pass? Nasty. Damn good pass. Playing forward. '64th minute throw in for Gilman. If Toronto wins this game, they don't deserve to. Let me tell you that much. It's pretty good. Infantino has no influence on this game. Well, I'm glad he doesn't. Because I don't know if you want Toronto to win anyway. Yeah, I know Spain won. I watched the game. And if if the Pirate was the manager, oh my God, I think Infantino would want us to lose. Why I said as a manager, I would rather have a guy who does the work as a striker. Yeah, Cristiano's a bad example, but he doesn't do the work. New England is taking long. I'm surprised they haven't scored yet. Honestly, a bit unlucky, but either way. But playing forward. Malik Henry loses the ball. Damn it. What I was basically saying is I would rather have a striker. As a manager, I'd rather have a striker who does all the work and maybe scores less goals than you want them to than a striker who doesn't do any work besides scoring goals. Yeah, it's 1 year since Ozzy Osbourne's death. Rest in peace to the Prince of Darkness. I didn't watch the final until the 90th minute because I knew it was going to be the same crooked BS. Well, Argentina got a red card, so was it crooked? 3-4. Vancouver gets back within 1. Anybody would be an upgrade over Cello, but okay. 66th minute. I mean, goal scorer, jury's still out, but he definitely does a lot of work. Sargent does a lot of work as a striker. That's out for a corner. A goal kick, okay. Goal scorer, the jury's still out. He might be a bad goal scorer. '67th minute. Playing over the top. Malik Henry does not get the ball for him. Cleared away. If there is a goal scored, that team's probably going to win the game. Let's put it like that. Hopefully that's Toronto. I guarantee you if we win, we don't deserve to win, though. That's caught by Matt Turner. Shallowy tries to chip it. I don't exactly get what he was trying to do, but okay. 68th minute. I'll take the point tonight as long as Toronto doesn't give up a goal. I'm okay with it. Yeah, because we don't deserve to get more than a point. And if we won, amazing. We don't deserve to win, but if we somehow win the game, great. We got 3 points and we got a game we didn't deserve to win. Malik Henry. And bad pass by Malik. Come on, man. Orsic is back at Dinamo Zagreb. Well, good. I mean, he must be getting older. That's probably why. 68th minute. Speaking of players, Jack Elliott's on a yellow. I mean, if you're going to beat Miami, you might as well foul the shit out of them. Well, I'm sure if Messi was playing, somebody would have been sent off, though, instead of just a yellow card. But since he has a month break, solid player, but yeah, he fell off. Speaking of moves out of the Croatian league, it looks like Sigor will move from Hajduk. He will leave Croatia and play somewhere else. Where that might be, don't know. Says he hasn't trained with Hajduk. Well, it's still what? I think he's closer to being able to train again with his club. Oh, for Paphos. Okay, so he played with David Luiz. Okay. Not bad. Segura's at Wolverhampton. Well, there you go. Yeah, Wolves. Oh, yeah, Wolves. Yeah. Another injury. Yep. And it's Chuck Wu. Oh, come on. Chuck Wu's down hurt. Oh, that's just, oh, God. Not good for the U20s. Great. He must have cramped up. We really just got a guy injured before the U20 World or U20 CONCACAF Championship. We really did, didn't we? Oh, good job. Good job. Good job. And Chuck Wu's played a damn good game. He's played a damn good game. Probably not. I think Luca Romero wants to play for Argentina, and I think Marcelo is better, to be honest. Like, didn't somebody compare Luca Romero to Santi? Like, Santi's an Argentinian who wants to play for Mexico, and Luca Romero's a Mexican who wants to play for Argentina. Didn't somebody say some stuff like that? He ain't going to play for Argentina. 2-2. Pierre. Chicago actually scored for once. 2-2. Chuck Wu's off. For Monlouis. Chuck Wu for Monlouis. The fourth official was being pretty nice to Chuck Wu, though, so maybe that's something to be okay about. They're giving him hugs. Hopefully that's not he's injured for the U20s. But then again, that's what that could mean. 71st minute. Probably. Goal kick. Header down. We have the CONCACAF Nations League draw tomorrow. And Monlouis put it in a bad position, but Gavin will get there. Luka Banovic of Canada's U20 plays for Hajduk. They were in the final of the Champions League Youth League in 2025. Good. '72nd minute. Just get to the ball. And, of course, Canada has also announced 2 of their friendlies for the October-September window. Chile and Peru. I think Chile's in Toronto and Peru is in Montreal. And they still have 2 to confirm. Shot! Wide. Chicago South African player scored. Mbokazeli Mbakazi. Yeah? Well, there you go. 73rd minute. Substitutions for the Revs. Luca Langoni's coming on. And Polster is off. And Dor Turgeman off for Harris. Well, you should. They're shit. Yeah, no, Ian Joy's not wrong. I'll actually give him the benefit of the doubt here. The Blue Jays are shit. The Red Sox are still one of the better teams right now in baseball, even if they lose their win streak. The Jays are going to get murdered by the Sox, just like they're getting murdered by the Rays. The Jays are getting mercy killed at this point. They need to sell. And the Yankees are good this year. So you know what? So basically at this point, if I want to see a team that I like win the World Series, it's got to be the Atlanta Braves. Go Braves. Go Braves. So what, does that mean the Braves are going to be shit next year no matter what they do and the Jays are going to be good, I guess? I don't know. I guess that's how it worked last year. 2023 or 2024, the Braves made the playoffs. I don't know if I'd say they were good, but they were better than the Jays. blocked out. 2025, the Braves were shit, and the Jays were World Series team. 1-0 KC. Minnesota's losing Jovelich. Good. Such a promising defender. So, no, I don't even blame me and Joy for saying that. The Jays suck this year. They absolutely suck. I'm still a Jays fan, but God, it's painful to watch. I'm sure Vladdy will get back to his old self. I think we're being a little bit too harsh, but sell anything that's on an expiring. If we could get some sort of ball crossed in prospects. They should trade Springer and Varsho, yes. Yes. Header, crossed in. Headed out, corner Toronto. 75th minute. Yes. I don't know how much they get off of them, but try to trade them. I mean, they're both on expirings, and we'll see. Leo Labata 2-0 Charlotte. Corner for Coelho in Toronto. 75th minute. Well, as long as we take a draw, I can't complain. Either way. Coelho. Ball crossed in. Header! Oh, just wide! Just wide! Just wide from Sargent. Oh, my. Good header, but he put it just wide. Ball crossed in. Gots up for the header, and he goes wide. Damn, damn, damn. I mean, Toronto's starting to look a little bit better, I gotta say. I mean, not great, but they look like they're closer to scoring than the Revs are, to be honest. I didn't say they look good. 76th minute. But it looks like either this will end up as a draw or Toronto wins 1-0, which that's not how a lot of this game looked. It looked like if somebody was score, it was going to be the Revs. But Toronto's actually gotten close over the past 20 minutes or so. I'm not going to say they were the better team, but they've gotten close. Coelho deserves more assists, man. Well, I agree, but we can't score. That's part of the problem. It's part of the problem. We can't score. Yusuf dumps it back. How about you close him down? Shot wide. Sargent's more like a private. That you, John Wayne? Is this me? Who said that? That you, John Wayne? Is this me? 77th minute. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have. Either way. You're taking... '78th minute. I'd rather, as I said, as a coach, I would rather have a striker who does the work instead of a striker who doesn't. Sargent does the work. Cristiano does not do the work. And that's a free kick for the Revs. 2-0 NYCFC. Again, I made the point. I know, but I made the point. That's cool. Hurts to see the Vladdy hate. He's having a down year. People forget he set a postseason OPS record. I get it, frustrating, but he will get out of the slump. But when you don't perform, you know how the Toronto media goes. When you're the big fish and you don't perform, you know how it goes when it comes to the Toronto media. Like Vladdy, I mean, I'm just admitting he's shit this year. That's all I'm doing. Like, I hate that Vladdy's getting a lot of hate, but he ain't performing. I'm being real. There's a difference. But I know Toronto media, when you don't, he doesn't deserve it because Vladdy's a good dude. Vladdy ain't sending the damn freaking bodyguards after the media for shitting on him like a certain other number 93. You know, number 93 and his father sent the freaking bodyguards after the media for shitting on him. Number 93 ain't all sunshine and rainbows like he likes to act like he is. He just makes his father look like the bad guy and his posse look like the bad guys. You know what I'm saying? Vladdy's a good dude. Vladdy's a good dude. Like, I don't feel bad hating on 93 because that dude is a freaking facade. He ain't a good dude. He just knows how to make himself look like the, oh, shucks, I'm not the bad guy. It's my posse and my father. I mean, and 93 does deserve it. Nelson Palacios still hurt. Still working through some. 80th minute. Vladdy's a good dude. He doesn't deserve half the hate. But you know what the Toronto media is? If you don't perform and you're the big dog, you're going to get a lot of hate. It's going to get a lot. It's going to get bad from the Toronto media. And you know how this works. Any sport. And the Jays are as popular as the Leafs right now because they went to the damn World Series. You know how this works. If TFC was good, if TFC started winning all these trophies and we had a lower end season and we became the talk of the town, they'd blame freaking whoever the big guy was for being shit. And that's how it does. So you know what? That's just Toronto media for you. And there are players who deserve it, in my book. The true, like, it being what it is, but, you know, there are players who don't. But if you ain't performing and the team's the talk of the town or it's the Toronto Maple Leafs, you know where it's going. You know where it's going. And hell, maybe the coach ends up being the one who gets skewered in some cases. When your team becomes talk of the town and you try to make yourself focus, you know, which I personally would do. You know, I mean, if I was the coach and TFC became the talk of the town, I'd try to put myself as the focus. So if anybody was going to get skewered on a down year, it'd be me. Because trust me, I can handle it. I don't know if these guys can. I can handle it. I can dish it out, but I also can take it. So when you aura farm, you're going to take a lot of shit when it comes to take shit. And that's all I'm going to say. You know, ball crossed in. When it ain't going your way, I would rather be, if I was the coach, I would rather be skewered. If TFC's the talk of the town, I'd rather, well, of course, the team gets the plaudits, but everybody gets the plaudits. But if somebody's got to get skewered because we are the talk of the town and we're not performing to our level, if I was the coach, I'd want to be the one getting skewered, not the players. But, you know, either way. But that's just me. They're not going to score. Well, maybe they will, actually. They're the team looking like they're closer to score, but either way. I can. Yeah, Cabo Verde could play the Gold Cup as a guest. I saw that. And I guess both them and Saudi Arabia would be in. So. Come on, you never know. I mean, they look like they're a team closer to scoring, but it's also, I'm just told we don't lose. Free kick should be at least. Sargent. Looks like a corner. We'll take it. So. I'd rather have Albert. I don't think John Schneider's that good of a manager anyway. That's the harsh truth. Like, yeah, a lot of these guys grew up with him as their manager throughout the minor leagues, but John Schneider was not the reason we made the World Series. It was who was performing last year. John Schneider did his level best to screw us over multiple chances to not even let us get to the World Series. Do you not remember the freaking Brendan Little Game 5 ALCS crash out. Do you not remember that? He almost screwed us over himself. John Schneider is not a good manager, and I said that during the playoffs. He ain't the reason why we got as far as we did. Albert Pujols is a better manager. I'm sure we can find a better manager. Corner for Toronto. So I don't think it's that harsh. Feels like it. It feels like it. TFC, well, Nelson's injured, but we'll take care of him. Well, I don't know if he was already injured when he came over, or maybe our freaking physio team injured him because they don't know what the hell they're doing. Either way, chips through, cleared away. I don't know what you would call. I don't know if you call what Toronto's doing playing, but they have a match tonight, and they're going through that match right now. I'd say what they're doing, going through the motions, but either way, you know. Yusuf is off for the Revs for Jackson Ewell. They're taking Jackson Ewell and Ceballos are on for Kohler and Yusuf. Jackson Ewell still kicking around. 85th minute. Well, yeah, it's LAFC. Yeah, it's LAFC. Yeah, you're going to get cooked. 85th minute. Sun owns RSL. He might score his second ever league goal this season, or his second league goal this season. Playing forward. It's funny, Sun didn't score any league goals until after the World Cup. Of course, he did score a CAN-Champ goal, or CONCACAF Champs Cup goal. And didn't he score Open Cup goal? Either way. No league goals. And then 2 friendly goals, I think. And that was it. I don't even think did he even? Oh, wait, wrong book. 86th minute. Goal kick. Did he even? Inbeom Hwang. I don't think Sun scored at the World Cup, no. Either way. Yeah, he just played for LAFC and scored a league goal. So, good for him there. 87th minute. Playing through, cleared away. Oh no, oh no. Play it back to the goalie. Good. Second ball, not there. Osorio. Playing forward. Damn it. Free kick. '87th minute. Coelho down, hurt. He took a freaking hit, didn't he? Let's see. We do have one more window for a final sub if need be. '88th minute. Coelho's up. Noah Allen in for Ian Fry. Okay. '88th minute. '89th minute. How are both teams playing? Revs look a bit shaky and a bit rusty, and Toronto they look like they're the team closer to scoring at this point, but they look garbage for about 65 minutes. Revs haven't played a game since the World Cup break. Toronto's played one, well, in the friendly. But Revs look absolutely rusty. And we've been unlucky not to get scored on. Or Toronto's been lucky not to get scored on, and the Revs have been very unlucky not to score. But the last 25 minutes, Toronto's looked like the team closer to scoring, but we know damn well what's about to happen. 89th minute, Gavrin picks it up. Do you think anyone will score? Either Toronto scores one late in a reversal of the trope of Tobias time, New England scores one against the run of play in stoppage time, or it's a 0-0 draw. So maybe like 70-30, 0-0. 70-30, 0-0, but more likely Tobias time happens. 3-2, goal. Goal for Miami, okay. 90th minute. How much stoppage time will we get in the Toronto game? 0-0. Our halfway mark game is on Saturday. 5 minutes of stoppage time. Toronto at a point per game with one game left before the first half is over. As it stands. Of course, if we lose, then the homegrown kid has scored for Miami after struggling on the flank to find the game. Noah Allen playing forward. It's out for a throw-in for Toronto. Yep, Chile and Toronto, September 26th. Toronto, Canada versus Chile. Canada versus Peru, October 3rd at Stade Saputo. Yep, and they still have 2 games to announce. Well, yeah, Nashville looks like they're way ahead to winning the Shield, yeah. Shield's been dead for Toronto before the freaking World Cup even started. Unless Nashville has like a giant... The only way Toronto's not winning the Shield, I'll tell you that right now. But Nashville could lose the Shield if they collapse, but it won't be to Toronto. Toronto had to have what? Like a perfect second half? Like they have to win every game. Toronto would have to win every game from the next game on, all their 18 last games, to win the Shield. And then hope like Nashville just chokes and all these other teams choke, which... Either way. 92nd minute. Oh, Preston. Okay. 0-0. Miami is the CEO of winning 3-2 this year. As long as you're winning, does it matter? As long as you win, does it matter how you win? I would rather win 5-4 than 1-0, if I'm being real. .92nd minute. Playing forward, Toronto. Advantage play. Free kick. Who's going to get the card? Crazy Al Miami. It's going to be a free kick for Toronto. Miami has worse talent, even worse defense. That's true. Well, it looks like it'll be a draw. Larea fouled by Reigns. Free kick for Toronto. 2 minutes to go. Looking for our second straight 0-0 draw. Gavrin with a free kick. Tomorrow we got the Nations League draw. 6 p.m. Central, 7 Eastern. We'll be here 5:55, 6:55. Yeah. 93rd minute. 1.5 minutes to go. Okay, that'd be funny. At least it's not in Miami, though. Well, nobody's scored yet. Can't blame Sargent. I can't either. 94th minute. I don't know why. I'm not sure. Final minute. Played over the top. Shallowy dumps it back for Henry. Malik Henry down the center. Loses the ball. Still has it. Wide to Shallowy. Shallowy. Final attack. Probably. Gilman switches the play. Good job. 30 seconds to go. Coelho chips over the top. Corner. Final corner for Toronto. Draw FC back at it. Lud fluffed his lines and sent it straight to Rios Novo. Worst World Cup song? Yes. Worst song ever? There's others. 95th minute. Coelho with a corner, and this is the last kick of the game. Can Toronto score? Hey, you know what? Send up Gavrin. Who cares? Send him up. Send him up. Send him up. I guess we're not. 95th minute. Header cleared. Larea sends it over the top, headed away. Good steal. Full time, 0-0. Well, we'll take it, I guess. Another 0-0 for Toronto FC. At least we didn't lose, which you probably deserve to, but with that being said, if you like this stream, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell. Notification once subscribe. Send some chats on the live streams. Hit that hide button. Put stuff in the algorithm. Hit that join button. Become a member. Send some chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put this in playlist. Share, friends and family. All that great stuff. I'll see you within the hour for the review of this match. And then I'll see you tomorrow. Wild my ass. I'll see you tomorrow for the CONCACAF Nations League draw, 2026-27 Nations League draw. Of course, Canada's only playing the quarterfinals. We'll find out who that'll be in October, who they'll play. But we'll see who's in the groups and which group runner-up. Well, Canada's third seed, so it'd be a group winner, wouldn't it be? Either way. The worst group winner. Yep. So, we'll see which group might be more likely for us to get, and what else is drawn for that Nations League. But first, of course, we'll review this game, and I'll be up within the hour. Then I'll see you tomorrow evening, and then we have Friday off, and then I'll see you Saturday. With that being said, I'll see you later. I'm Ryan, and I'm out. Peace. We'll take it, I guess.